Hello everyone! I hope all of you had a fantastic weekend, but sad to say, the working week is about to begin again. At least if you're watching this video on Monday. To ease the pain, let's do a Q&A, but before we begin I have some very exciting WoW news to share with you all. For those who didn't know yet, coming Thursday, August the 14th, Blizzard will release the official Warlords of Draenor trailer, and they're going to announce the release date. They'll show it live at Gamescom, including interviews and all that, but you can also watch it on a stream. I can't wait to see how they're going to do the trailer. I personally hope they'll add a bit of information from Warcraft in there, since so far there hasn't really been an in-game explanation. World of Warcraft is also celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, which means it's time for a party. I don't believe they've given an exact date, but judging from the past, it will probably be between November the 30th until December the 14th. I just googled the previous anniversary and those were the dates, so don't take that as set in stone. We'll see how it's gonna go. And now, what are they going to do to celebrate it? Will we get another experience buff with the standard email in the mailbox? Nope. It's going to be much bigger. First of all, Molten Core is going to be buffed up and it's going to be turned into a 40-man LFR raid team thing. You're going in with 40 different people to relive that experience of old. As a reward for killing Ragnaros, you'll get an achievement and you're going to get a special Core Hound mount. It's going to be on LFR, so it's most likely going to be a hit the target dummy party. But who cares? The mount looks freaking epic, there's going to be achievements, and the party should be there for everyone. They said it was going to be for max level, and they didn't specify if it was going to be for level 90 or for level 100. I personally can't imagine that they would announce Warlords in August and release it before November. That wouldn't leave you with a lot of time to level up to max level 100, and they don't want to promote or reward people who rush through content. They even removed the Realm First achievement, so that's why I personally think that we're going for an early December release. That's just my interpretation, that's just a date grabbed out of the air. It could be anything, but if they do it like that, then we have this anniversary and hopefully they play it smart so that people who are going to resub for this anniversary can easily flow into the next expansion. Besides Molten Core, anyone who logs on during the celebration will get the fiery Corgi pet and then something lost to the ages, something that slowly died away when they released the battlegrounds. We're going back in time and we're going to battle it out over at South Shore versus Torren Mill. For those who weren't there during Classic, this is where most of our world PvP took place. You know, besides ganking at Blackrock Mountain, this is where we did our PvP. I remember being the noobish hunter, playing my game, and all of a sudden a guildie would cry for help. The Horde is attacking South Shore again, please come and fight them. And we did. Teams of Alliance players would fly down into South Shore, only to lag out and find out that the Horde was camping the Flightmaster, and you were instantly killed. You tried to push the Horde back to Torren Mill, and the undead guards would be like, hey, what are you Alliance people doing here? Get back to South Shore! And the Horde would push you back again and kick your butts. It was great nostalgic fun. I've heard that they're going to add the old ranking system for this event and I'm extremely excited for it. It should be great fun. Now it's never going to top that nostalgic feeling, that's why it's nostalgia, but I can't wait to do this. The anniversary should be awesome. I will be recording all of it, maybe even stream it, maybe even make a group with you guys. We'll see what's going to happen. I can't wait. That's my news for this week. Let's begin this Q&A. Noble, I love your lore videos. Could you do some lore videos about Ulduar? I know it's a Titan prison for Yogg-Saron, but what about the other bosses? What's Forum stories, Mimiron, Hodir? Is there any lore behind Valanir? Ulduar is a great raid and some lore would be great to match. And to combo that with, there was another question. Who is Tyr? What's he doing? Where is he? I would love to know more about him. Keep up the good work from Vesco. I covered the global story of Ulduar in my Titans and Old Gods Part 2 video, but I focused more on Yogg-Saron and not so much on the Titan Keepers. When the Titans defeated the Old Gods, they decided to imprison them beneath the world. For Yogg-Saron, they built a prison, they called it Ulduar, and inside the prison they left guards and plans behind to make sure that Yogg-Saron wouldn't escape. Old gods are extremely powerful, and despite being imprisoned, Yogg-Saron managed to whisper whisper and whisper some more. It's speculated that Yogg-Saron manipulated specific moments in Warcraft's history, but we know for certain that his whispers reached the ears of the Titan Keeper called Loken. He corrupted Loken, manipulated him, and he used him to weaken the rest of his jailers. Loken was sent to provoke a war between the Storm Giants and the Earth Giants, which gave him a reason to neutralize them and take them out of the game. He also killed Thorin's wife Sif, his own brother's wife, and he tricked Thorin into believing that it was the Ice Giants who did it. This turned Thorin against his former allies and again weakened the defenses of Ulduar. Eventually, Bran Bronzebeard and his crew, they got into Ulduar and they found out that Yogg-Saron had awakened. Some have messaged me saying that Illidan's spell during Warcraft 3, the one that nearly destroyed Northrend, was the thing that allowed Yogg-Saron to break out even further, but I couldn't find anything to support this. Either way, we know that Yogg-Saron corrupted Ulduar, the raid opened up and we're allowed to go in, but before that moment, we faced Loken himself. Loken is the prime designate, the main jailer, and since he was corrupted, we had to take him out. The Titans, they were smart enough to place a backup plan in case Loken would ever fall, and his death sent a message to Elgalon the Observer that it was time to come down, check out Azeroth, and see what was going on.
My death heralds the end of this world.
In Ulduar itself, we took out the defenses, we smacked some sense into the Titan Keepers, and we pushed down Yogg-Saron back into his prison. As a bonus boss, we actually faced Elgalon the Observer, who recognized that Azeroth was just too corrupted and that it should be destroyed.
It is in the universe's best interest to re-originate this planet should my analysis find systemic corruption. Do not interfere.
He too was smacked around a bit until he saw it our way, and we were allowed to send a message that stopped the Doomsday device from blowing up the planet. That's the global story behind Ulduar, what we actually did there. Now, the specific stories for the Titan Keepers, or the Titanic Watchers as they're called, they don't have that much of a story. They work with the Norse mythology, like Loken is Loki, Thorin is Thor. Anybody who watched the Avengers or those movies, you know kinda what's going on. Now Loken, as I said, he was the main jailer and he was first to fall to Yogg-Saron's whispers. He was the one who helped the old god weaken the defenses and helped him corrupt the other jailers. Thorin is Loken's brother and he was tricked by Loken to strike out against the Ice Giants. The death of his wife Sif left Thorin with a depression, but we pulled him out of it, we made him pick up his armor and weapon, and we made him fight Loken. This is what Loken planned all along, since Thorin, being away from the Temple of Storms, allowed Loken to overpower his brother and allowed Yogg-Saron to corrupt Thorin.
In the mountains.
For Hodor, it's suggested that he's a father figure or possibly even created the Frost Giants. The faction called Sons of Hodor is a big clue to this, and rumor has it that the story of Great Father Winter actually originates from Hodor.
The Veil of Winter will protect you, champion.
When you activate Freya to help you out in the fight against Yogg-Saron, she calls for Eonar.
Eonar, your servant calls for your blessing.
Eonar is an actual titan, part of the Pantheon, protector of life, nature and healing. Not much story for Freya besides leaving her avatar behind in Sholazar Basin as a fail-safe in case she herself couldn't be around to defend it. Mimiron is the one who created the Mechanomes to be his servants and caretakers. Over time, the curse of flesh would hit his creations, turning the Mechanomes into fleshy creatures we now call gnomes. Gearmaster Megazon in Northrend actually takes our gnomes and he reverses the curse, transforming them back into Mechanomes. We're set out to bring them back into their fleshy forms, and some gnomes are really grateful for this, while others were perfectly happy with being Mechanomes again. The final Titan Keeper of Ulduar, namely Tyr, probably has the most interesting story since we don't know what happened to him. In the novel Dawn of the Aspects, we read about Tyr recruiting protodrakes to help him take on the gigantic protodrake called Galagrond. I've done a video on this story with more details, but the end result is that Galagrond, he bit Tyr's hand off, but was eventually defeated and the 5 protodrakes were recruited as guardians for Azeroth. The Titans were called down by Tyr, and they granted the aspects their powers and turned them into dragons. That's about all we know for sure about Tyr, but there is a myth surrounding him. Long ago, on the continent that would eventually become known as the Eastern Kingdoms, a small group of creatures struggled to survive, using the limited supplies provided to it by its parents, who had just abandoned their children on an unfamiliar shoreline. These creatures, eventually called humans, would occasionally take to gathering around a fire whilst trying to read from scrolls telling of ancient heroes and leaders, tales from the civilization that had caused these creatures out. One of these scrolls spoke of a great leader, a paragon of order and justice, who had sacrificed his right hand in a fight against an unfathomable evil. Although it was within this hero's power to fix his hand after the fighting had ended, the hero instead chose to replace it with a closed fist made of the purest silver. In this way, the hero impressed upon those who followed him that true order and justice can only be accomplished through personal sacrifice. This hero, who slipped into memory long ago, went by the name of Tyr. The creatures of this myth were the early humans. The Vrykels of Northrend were also hit by the curse of flesh, and they started giving birth to weak and ugly children. Their king, Ymiron, ordered their parents to get rid of their kids, but some parents disobeyed and instead hid their children so that they could grow up far away from Northrend. The myth of Tyr and his silver hand is actually what inspired the name for the Order of the Silver Hand. Besides that, you also have the town called Tyr's Hand, and then you have the speculation around what's beneath Tyr's Glades. When the High Elves were in the Tirsfall Glades, several of them went mad, which leads to the question of what's the cause of this. It's been confirmed that it's not an old god, but we don't know for sure what it actually is. Some speculate that the Titan Keeper Tyr might be beneath Tirsfall Glades, and perhaps Galagrond biting his hand off left some sort of corruption. This is suggested because Tyr is fall, Tyr his fall. Who knows what's actually down there, but what we do know for certain is that there's currently nothing beneath Tyr's Fall. I would love to speculate with all of you, I would love to have mad ideas of what actually it could be, but there was an interview between Jesse Cox and Dave Kozak actually confirmed that there currently isn't a story. They can add anything they want to Tyr's Fall Glade, I mean, they're Blizzard, they create the story, so for now we'll just have to speculate, and maybe Blizzard will pick up one of the stories. Hey Noble! I love your work, smiley face. I got a bit confused when I read the novel Tides of War. At the first meeting Jaina has with Thrall, she mentioned that she loved both Kael'thas and Arthas, who both turned to darkness. Can you enlighten me about Jaina's connection with Kael'thas, because I'm totally clueless, besides the fact that they both studied in Dalaran. Thank you. You pretty much answered the question yourself there. The connection between Jaina and Kael'thas is that Jaina was a student at Dalaran and Kael'thas had like a high position within the Kirin Tor. He was very charmed by Jaina and he made advances towards her, but Jaina was more intimidated than attracted to him. Kael'thas was a lot older than her, he was a high elf, he was a very powerful caster, and he just had this very powerful position within the Kirin Tor. Besides that, by that time Jaina already had a soft spot for Arthas in her heart, which Kael'thas just couldn't beat. He actually caught Jaina and Arthas kissing in Dalaran one day, and this pissed him off. When Arthas turned to the dark side, he used that information, that story about Jaina against Kael'thas, but it kinda backfired on him. "I took your woman," he said, continuing to try to anger the mage, although he knew, and probably Kael knew, that Jaina had never belonged to the elf. "I held her in my arms at night. She tasted sweet when I kissed her, Kael. She loathes you now," Kael'thas replied. "You sicken and disgust her, Arthas. Anything she felt for you has since turned to hatred." Arthas' chest contracted oddly. He realized he had not thought about how Jaina regarded him now. He had always done his best to thrust all thoughts of her away when they drifted into his mind. Was it true? Did Jaina really? An enormous crackling ball of fire exploded against his chest, and Arthas cried out as he was forced back by the blow. This is from Arthas, Rise of the Lich King, as Arthas and Kael'thas fight it out in Northrend. Arthas planned to anger Kael'thas to get his mind off his spell work, but it backfired and it actually distracted Arthas. So there you go, that's Jaina's connection to Kael'thas. Hey Noble, I was wondering, what's the lore behind Thrush Lord Ahune? Thanks, Will. I've done the story of Ahune before in my Naga video, but since several people asked, I figured it would be a good idea to answer it in a Q&A. The story behind it is that the Twilight Hammer, they want to summon Ahune to Azeroth, make him fight with Ragnaros, and start another elemental war on Azeroth. Scarfis the Summoner, also known as Scarfis the Heretic, is the one who summons Lord Ahune. The reason why I put this story in my Naga video is because Scarfis is really interesting. The Nagas, they usually work for either Queen Azora or for Lady Vash and Illidan, but Scarfis is special since he worships the elemental lord of water, Neptulon. He actually helped us during the Burning Crusade with gaining access to Lady Vash, and now he too apparently wants this war to come. He wants another elemental war, and that's why he summons Ahune. We go in, we take out Ahune, and we prevent this war between the elements. That's basically the story of Frost Lord Ahune. Hey Noble, does the man who replaced Arthas as Lich King have a story? That man is called High Lord Bolvar Fordragon, a true hero of the Alliance. His story mingles with Varian stories, so let me explain that first. The Black Dragon Onyxia was sent by her father Deathwing to mess up things in the Kingdom of Stormwind. She disguised herself as Lady Prestor, she infiltrated Stormwind, and she had the Defiance Brotherhood kidnap Varian. She planned to split Varian in two, make one weak-willed Varian, which she would use as a puppet to rule the kingdom from behind the curtains, and one strong-willed Varian, which she would simply kill. Not everything went to plan. She was able to cast her spell, she was able to split Varian in two, but the Naga decided to attack. This distraction allowed the strong-willed Varian to jump into the ocean and escape, while the weak-willed Varian was taken by the Naga and later ransomed back to Stormwind. With Varian away, someone had to rule the kingdom, which fell on the young shoulders of Prince Anduin Wrynn. But thankfully for Anduin, he had Bolvar to back him up and help him rule. Eventually, the weak-willed Varian, he returned to Stormwind, and Bolvar noticed that his king was not the same. This Varian seemed enchanted by Lady Prestor, so Bolvar, he sent Marshal Reginald Windsor to investigate a lead that might explain the king's behavior. Windsor discovered Onyxia's secret, discovered that she was a black dragon, but before he could make a proper report, he was captured by the Dark Iron Dwarves. In-game, we were the ones who went in and saved his life and brought him back to Stormwind. But in the comics, it was the strong-willed Varian who survived his escape, and he eventually started to make his way back home. They liberated Windsor, they revealed that Prestor is actually Onyxia. Onyxia burns Windsor to a crisp, she then kidnaps Anduin, and she takes him back to her lair. Bolvar is left in charge as the party goes to liberate Anduin, and thankfully they were able to take out Onyxia and fix Varian in the process. The next time that Bolvar plays a part is during Wrath of the Lich King. He's the one who leads the Alliance forces into the cold heart of Northrend itself. He even defeats the Lich Telzane the Dustbringer, but then the Wrathgate happens.
High Lord Bolvar! Take the lead! For the Order! For the Alliance! Back, you mindless wretches! Fight on, brothers!
Rise up, sons of the Horde! Blood and glory await us! Lontargar! For the Horde!
I was wondering if you'd show up.
I couldn't let the Alliance have all the fun today.
Arthas! The blood of your father, of your people, demands justice! Come forth, coward, and answer for your crimes!
You speak of justice, of cowardice. I will show you the justice of the grave and the true meaning of fear. Enough talk! Let it be finished!
You will pay for all the lives you've stolen, traitor!
boldly stated, but there is nothing you can... What? Did you think we had forgotten? Did you think we had forgiven? Behold now, the terrible vengeance of the Forsaken! Sylvanas. Death to the Scourge! And death to the living! Now, all can see. This is the hour of the Forsaken.
We're finished. No escape for any of us.
I know I've been showing this cinematic a lot lately, but it's just so damn good. The story behind it is that Sylvanas is betrayed by her own people, and they use the plague not only against Arthas, but also the Alliance and the Horde. You can see Bolvar dying, but the dragon flames, they cleanse the area and they resurrect Bolvar. I said the same during my full story of World of Warcraft, and a couple of people commented that it was not the dragon flames that resurrected Bolvar, but that it was the Lich King who did this. I had to check the ultimate visual guide to make sure, but it really was the dragon flame that resurrected Bolvar. Bolvar is then taken captive by Arthas, with the plan in mind of torturing Bolvar, twist and manipulate his soul, and turn him into one of his dark agents.
The breaking of this one has been taxing. The atrocities I have committed upon his soul. He has resisted for so long, but he will bow down before his king soon.
Never! I will never serve you!
He did the same with Saurfang's soul, he turned him into a Death Knight, but Bolvar was able to resist. With Arthas defeated, we find out that there must always be a Lich King. Tyrion was about to step up and take that role, but Bolvar took his place as a final act of service to the world. Does this mean the end of Bolvar's story? Well, I doubt it, to be honest. There must always be a Lich King, and there will always be potential for a story. Final question time. What's the story behind Grommash Hellscream? I've played Warcraft 3 and know it well from here, but orcs take him as a hero who freed them, but he has slain innocents and fed them with demon blood and was the first to drink it as well, so it seems I'm not having the knowledge of his story well. Great vids, by the way, smiley face. A full video on Grommash Hellscream will come in the future, but I've had this question before about Grom, so let me try to explain it. Grommash Hellscream is seen as a hero by some, but he has also made a lot of mistakes. He was betrayed a couple of times, and overall, he was simply a young orc, a hothead who didn't always think everything through. When Kil'jaeden found the Draenei and manipulated Ner'zhul to form the Horde, they had a meeting, and during this meeting, Grom was pissed. Ner'zhul summoned them all like some sort of obedient dog, and at first, Grom wasn't even willing to listen. Only when Ner'zhul started talking about how the Draenei were actually their enemies, how there was a new enemy to fight on their planet, only at that moment did Grom switch over to Ner'zhul's side. He looked forward to hearing more about this enemy and he enjoyed the fights that were coming. When Gul'dan took over and offered them the demon blood, he didn't tell them that this would enslave them to the Legion, or he said that this was a blessing from the beings who had been so kind to them. By this time, the orcs had already started turning green, warlocks were magically aging their children, demons were their allies, all in all, things didn't seem to have the best intentions for the orcs. These beings didn't really seem to have the best intentions. Some of them saw that the path the Horde was taking was not the right one. Orgrim Doomhammer, for example, he refused to drink, and Durotan was actually warned not to drink, but many more did choose to embrace this gift. Grommash Hellscream was the first to step up and embrace this so-called gift. He took a big gulp of the demon blood, and he became a slave to the Legion, but also extremely powerful.
Ah, Thrall. You always believed that the demons corrupted our race, but that's only half true. We gave ourselves up willingly on Draenor. The other chieftains and I, we drank Manaroth's blood, Thrall. We brought this curse upon ourselves. You did this to our people knowingly?
The orcs would eventually find out that Kil'jaeden left them to their fate, and the first orcish invasion of Azeroth followed. Grom was not sent during that first invasion, but he did join the second invasion. Together with Rexxar and several others, they held the Dark Portal so that their forces would be able to gather the artifacts, that they could make the portals, but as we know, the Alliance would be able to break through their lines, go through the portal, and close it from Draenor's side. This left Grom and his troops stuck on Azeroth, and they thought that their planet was blown up. Grom believed that his son, his Garrosh, was now dead, and that all their people were gone, and still Grom planned to fight, to regroup and conquer Azeroth for the Horde. They were all that was left of the Horde, they were the ones who would have to carry their legacy, and Rexxar was the only one who see that time and time again they were betrayed by their leaders, and he left Grom to take his place amongst the wilds. Around 10 years went by until Thrall entered the picture and he found Grom and his clan. Imagine 10 years of trying to stay out of the hands of the Alliance, with demon blood pumping in your veins, slowly driving you mad. 10 years had given Grom some wisdom about war, peace and fighting. He teamed up with Thrall and he told him where to find the Frostwolf clan, the clan of Thrall's parents. This part is one of the better moments for Grom, where he actually made the right choice and he helped out Thrall with his mission to liberate the people and reform the Horde. The story continues in Warcraft 3, where Thrall is told by Medivh to go to the ancient lands of Kalimdor, and that's where the destiny is going to take them. We now see Grom back to the old days, where he's like, let's go fight, let's go to war, I can't wait any longer, I need to kill. Grom is back to his old ways.
With these, we can reach Stone Talon Peak by morning. A true warrior would simply take the pass from the humans. Have you lost what's left of your mind, Grom? I gave you a direct order to leave the humans alone. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't lecture me, pup. The wretches deserved death. Don't you feel it, Thrall? It's like the old days, like the demons are near. I don't know what's come over you and your men, but this bloodlust is a liability that I can't afford. I'm sorry, Thrall. You're right. I can handle it. I can't take that chance, Grom. Take your clan into the northern forest and build us a settlement. I'll come and find you after we've reached the Oracle.
I personally imagine that the return of the Legion had reawakened Grom's bloodlust and he's having a very hard time controlling it. For some reason, Thrall thought it was a good idea to send Grom and his troops into an unexplored area where they would find the Night Elves and the demigod Cenarius. Cenarius and the Night Elves, they were not happy about the orcs chopping down their forest, so they retaliate, and the Pit Lord Manaroth, the same Pit Lord who gave the orcs their demon blood, had come with a mission. He had come to feed the orcs some more demon blood, to completely bind them to his will again, so he leaves behind a pool full of fresh demon blood for Grom and his troops to find.
The pool emanates great power, but I smell the stench of a demon curse about it.
I am cursed already. If I must drink from these waters to defeat Cenarius, then I will.
No, that goes against everything the war chief teaches us. We can't let rage overcome us again.
No, warrior. We must embrace it as never before. We must become the vessels of destruction that we were meant to be. Yes! I feel the power once again. Come, my warriors. Drink from the dark waters, and you will be reborn.
Despite knowing that this is the same stuff that enslaved his people before, Grom decides to take a big gulp and take out Cenarius. He then figures out what he has done, that his people are slaves once more, and he is devastated, but there's not much to do about it. Thankfully for him, Thrall and Jaina and the rest of the forces, they manage to save Grom's soul and they manage to snap him out of it, which leads to Grom's greatest moment and what actually makes him a hero.
Grom, Thrall, I see clearly now. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
To hell with your apologies! Right now, I need you to help me save our people.
Manaroth. We must face Manaroth in the canyon.
Then let's go. I don't want to keep the bastard waiting.
So predictable. I knew you would come. And I see you brought the mighty Hellscream. His blood is mine. As is your whole misbegotten race. The boy believed you could be saved, but he didn't know what burns within your soul. Within your heart, you know we are the same. The blood haze has lifted. The demon's fire has burnt out in my veins. I have freed myself.
No, old friend. You freed us all.
Despite his mistakes, Grom did manage to take out Manoroth and liberate all their people from their enslavement to the Legion. Does that make him a hero? Well, there've been quite a few debates on that subject, and I think everyone will have their own opinion. My view on it is that Grom was quite a hothead in his days, and this led him to making a few very bad decisions. He got extremely lucky that Jaina and Thrall saved his butt, and he went out in a blaze of glory. That's just my interpretation of Grom though, you can have your own, and if you see him as a hero, that's perfectly fine. If you see him as an idiot, that's also perfectly fine. I think that's the beauty of certain stories in Warcraft. You can have so many opinions, and there really isn't a wrong answer to it. This was indeed my final question though, so I'm going to end this Q&A. If you have more questions, you can always leave a comment down below, and I might use it in the next video. Thank you very much for watching everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!